How you doing? This is Glenn again from Endless Innovations. It's been a little while since we've talked to you guys. I haven't put a video on. We've been kind of busy doing these design projects and kind of getting that set up. But we still have been working on the Jeep. We've been making some new parts. This is kind of a plethora of the parts we've been making up to now. And I'll walk through what these are and I'll put them on the Jeep and we'll kind of show you where they're used. But, you know, we made a replacement box that actually goes where the stereo goes on the dash of the Jeep. So this is basically going to be someplace you can put money, sunglasses, whatever, but it's a filler, and it gave me some mounting holes to put some of the fuse boxes and things like that we had from the throttle body. This is a little bracket that we're going to put a grommet in so I can feed wires through the firewall from the engine compartment. Up to now it's just been a hole, so we kind of made a little clever bracket that goes in there. This is a gauge mount for my thermostat, for the autometer thermostat I have. In the past I've just had a piece of aluminum holding it underneath the dash, but we made a nice little bracket. These are a couple adapter plates that are going to go on top of the new aluminum valve cover we put on. There's some mounting holes on the top of the valve cover, so we thought we'd make some cool brackets. I got a series of 1032 holes screwed in them and tapped, so we can actually mount different things, pressure gauges and things like that. So this is kind of the stuff we've been making up to now, and I'll show you where it goes on the Jeep once we get it installed. But like I said, we haven't done a lot of video on the Jeep only because we've been busy doing some other projects. All this stuff right now has been anodized dark gray, because ultimately when everything's said and done and we get the Jeep to where we need it, it's going to get a new paint job. It's going to be a gunmetal dark gray with some different decals and things on it to support some of the activity we're doing. So just wanted to bring you up to speed. I'm going to get this stuff installed in the Jeep, and then I'll shoot a quick video of where all this stuff went, and then maybe start talking to you a little bit about this design project we started with a couple of the engineers coming in from the outside, and kind of explain how that works. But let me get this stuff mounted, and I'll do a quick clip of where this stuff went, and we'll go from there. Okay, this is Glenn again. So I installed most of those components I showed you a little earlier. Let me just show you where they are, and just kind of keep you up to date of what we're actually machining special for this Jeep. So if you look over here, this is the top of the valve cover. Oops, there goes my electronic module. Okay, this is Glenn again. Now we're back at the Jeep. I installed some of the components that I showed you a little earlier. So let's just go through them and I'll show you where they're installed, just so I can keep you up to date of what we're actually making special for this Jeep, stuff we're machining here in the shop. So if you go to the top of the valve cover, these are these little plates that I showed you. They have a bunch of 1032 mounting holes on it. Again, I don't know what I'm going to mount to it, but I had these screws here available on the top of the valve cover, so I figured I'd make a plate for it. I do have a fuel gauge that I need to mount some brackets to get it outside the hood, so I might use it for that. This was the other one here. Again, there's just a bunch of 1032 holes tapped into it. Again, maybe I'll use it for a bracket for holding the tube. I don't know, but I have them, so if I need to mount things, I can mount things. Down here, it might be a little hard to see. Right here is that little goofy, let's see if I get a better angle from this side. Yeah, that might be here's that little teardrop shaped piece that we made, and this was a piece where I needed to get wires through the firewall, and I really had no good way of doing it before. I just had a hole through there, and it was nicking through the insulation, things like that. So we made this little plate up, and I actually put a grommet from a Glad hand that goes on a tractor trailer, and I just notched it out, and then have the wire going through there, and then just a screw holding it to the firewall. So now I have a way of sliding wires in through this little notch here if I have more wires, and then I have the grommet protecting the wires as they go through. So that was the other piece. So if we go to the inside of the Jeep, this was the gauge mount here for the autometer temperature gauge that I made. It was 2 halves, basically, so we could sandwich the autometer gauge into it, just to have a nice sturdy mount for it. Before, like I said, I had just a piece of aluminum holding it, so this looks a little nicer. I was going to actually do some more machining on this and cut it out and chamfer it and all that, but for holding the gauge, I think it looks good. And over here, this is that big box that I showed you that was machined out. This is where the original radio used to sit, but I made this box kind of like a little stationary glove compartment. But again, I needed it so I could mount, well, I needed it for some additional storage, but I also wanted a place to mount the fuse box bracket that came with the throttle body and the computer port. So both of those are mounted to the bottom of this little cutout there. So those are the pieces that we machined that I showed you earlier. And again, I just want to keep you up to date. This little opening here, where the steering wheel compartment is, I am making, this used to be a stainless steel plate that was in here. I am making another plate, and I'll show you that real quickly and then how we go through that, but that's going to cover that. That's going to be aluminum. We're going to do some cool machining on that. And then also I'm probably going to replace this stainless steel bezel here for the gauges, bezel gauges. Make that out of aluminum also, make it a little thicker, give it a little more depth. Again, to match the gunmetal gray that we're going to paint this Jeep eventually. But I will show you the plate that we're going to work on. There's my Optimum battery that we'll be installing and making a special tray for that. But here at the reverse engineering lab over here, I've got these plates laid out on a piece of aluminum, and I kind of hot glued them in place. And then with the ferro arm, we're going to go through and we're going to get this geometry so I can get it onto an actual aluminum plate, and we can put it in the machining center, get the whole location, things like that. But that'll be another couple days off yet. But I just wanted to bring up the speed of where we're at. So we are still moving along on the Jeep, even though we haven't done as many videos. So we'll keep the videos going. One more thing I did do is underneath I did take the transfer cross member out, which is sitting over here. And I'm going to make some new spacers that go across the bottom of this. When I first did the Jeep many years ago, I just had these little aluminum blocks that I made and drilled out, which worked fine. But I want to get the whole surface area of this in contact with the plate. So I'm going to make a full bar that goes across here and matches up with the holes. And I do have some other stuff to tidy up underneath there between the fuel lines and the brake lines, things like that. But until then, like I said, I just want to keep you up to speed, so we'll keep you posted. So stay tuned, and we'll keep these videos going.